It's good music.
That was you on harpsichord.
It was not me on the harpsichord, but it was me. I actually did mix that. Yes. So it's stock music from, I think I used GarageBand, which is an Apple product, and I just took loops, and I created that. I'm not a musician, folks, but I can play one on TV, yeah. On PoddiMouths, yeah. Yep. Not like you, Mr. Guitar virtuoso.
And I'm not good on the guitar, but I have plenty of them, and I am not great on the piano. I have one behind me.
The fact that you have them, well, I do have a piano, but the fact that you have a guitar is already a step in the right direction beyond me, because I have my daughter's ukulele. That's pretty much my experience on a guitar.
Yes, I did have a ukulele too.
Do you?
I do, and a bass, which I don't play.
I think I would enjoy the bass. If I were to do it, I think I would be.
Everyone who plays it says it's so much easier than 6-string, and I play 6-string, so I just haven't given it time. And there are awesome videos. I mean, YouTube.
Well, yeah, we are in
videos.
We are in a unique
play.
Yeah, you're in a unique time right now because we have apps, we have videos. There's so many things that I wish. Honestly, I wish when I bought my first house. Yeah, seriously, folks, I have a beer here. I will admit, but I've only had like 4 sips. No, when I bought my first house, I really wish YouTube existed.
Because for sure.
I bought a fixer-upper.
Yep.
And I lived in it, and it was a shit show because I was just trying to guess and doing things. I was going to the library. Yeah, folks, I was going to the library to look things up.
What is that?
I know.
What's the library?
The card. I was using the Dewey Decimal System, the card catalog.
Hey, if you didn't know where it was,
miserably.
If you didn't know where it was, did you look it up in the phone book?
Yeah, my phone book I used to help me get to the higher levels so I could scrape things off the wall.
Nice.
That's pretty much the extent. We did have phones back then, John.
We did have phones. We had a thick phone book in one of the places we lived, and I learned how to rip them. And it's not, you think, it's the big muscle man thing, and there's a technique to it that's pretty. And you still have to be relatively strong to do it. I got a couple from hotels that I was in. I'm like, I really need to practice this. And so I'm ripping phone books in hotels. That was very nice. I don't want to say what the hotel brand was because they'll probably still bill me for it. So.
Yeah, don't. That's almost. I guess the word's tantamount.
Tantamount.
Nice. See, I can use words.
Nice.
Sometimes, rarely. To tearing the Mormon Bible or whatever that Bible is in the hotel room.
That's usually a hardcover though, so that wouldn't be right.
The pages are just as thin though.
It's not about the thin. It's about breaking the spine. That's how you tear it. Yeah.
Oh.
See, now go find a phone book and try it. You should do that during our break.
It'd be hard to find a phone book in Nashville right now. I think we've had one delivered in 15 years. And we were both like, what is this? Why are we getting this?
I don't even know what this is.
This is the branding's weird. It's yellow.
You talk about YouTube, and we default to that stuff now, teaching us to. So I was supposed to go meet the builder at our house.
And you YouTubed how to meet a builder?
And I was going to say, now I know how to build a house myself. And I was going to go see him. And I got on a Harley, and it wouldn't start. And I'm like, oh, come on. I'm 15 minutes away, and it's 15 minutes to get there. And so I got on YouTube, and it's the key fobs. I didn't change the battery.
Oh.
Dummy. But there's no reminder. I haven't changed them. The bike is 5 years old. So
makes sense.
It lasted for 5 years. I'm like, I can't both of them died at once. I have 2 of them. And so, anyway, eventually fired right up as soon as I changed the battery.
Yeah, and it's really funny. Because I'm glad you said that, because if we have any dealers listening, which I know we do, that's a conversation we have with a lot of dealers all the time, is making those YouTube videos about how to do something as simple as changing the battery in a key fob.
Yep.
People are looking that up. They really are. You're the perfect example. People are looking up how to do things, and if you do it well and you do enough of them, you're going to be the one that shows up. So again, it's just you're not going to see an ROI. You don't have to see the world as it exists now is not the same as it used to be, where everything has to have an ROI.
Yeah,
there is an ROI associated. It's just going to be intangible, because the more you do, the better. The more people are going to know that you're out there. The more people that are going to have you top of mind when they're ready to buy.
You're absolutely right. And this is it's the way we used to do years ago. There was never any ROI in advertising. I don't care what anybody says. There wasn't.
Right.
It was a guessing game, and you see what works and what doesn't. And I'm talking about from a car dealership perspective. We'd be in the newspaper because we were afraid not to be.
Right.
Nobody ever measured how many people came in from that ad. I don't know. We were busy, so it must have worked. And that's how you justified it.
Right.
And the same is true for TV ads. The TV ads of old that we used to pay for, you could never give some sort of attribution to that. So you would just say it's good. It reflects well on us, and it's about image advertising. That's exactly the same as what you said that you would do on YouTube now. It's an image. Your name gets out there, and it just shows that you care enough about your customers to be proactive rather than reactive.
Absolutely. And you know what's even more important than YouTube right now? TikTok. TikTok has actually overtaken YouTube on educational videos. Wow. Short form educational videos. So I've had a number of conversations with dealers lately. It's like, what is your strategy for TikTok? I think it's about time you start talking about it. It's really important. And it's the same with a lot of things. This one's a really hot topic right now, is digital retailing. Dealers, there are still a lot of dealers that just don't believe in it and don't believe that that's the next step. And I'm like, here's the thing that I try to help them understand is it's not a tool for your customer. It's a tool for you. It's a tool for you to help get the customer into your dealership. It's a tool for you to help the customer understand what they're doing and when they're doing it. It's a tool for you to help the customer get through the process faster, which is one of the biggest complaints most customers have about the car buying experience, as well as the negotiation, which this helps you accomplish.
Yeah. I think negotiation is going to take on a different phase now after.
I think it already has.
Well, I'm sure, but I think it's even going to be, it'll continue to change and evolve, because what's happened with the chip shortage is it's changed the supply and demand dynamic. And so you have some dealers who are, charging tens of thousands over list price, over MSRP, and they're going to have, there will be some ramifications to that. You're going to lose some customers if you continue to do that. And the really good ones are weighing that, I think, very well now, so they know what they're doing and how that's going to vary. But Brian Pash wrote a very good article that he had on LinkedIn about the variation between digital retailing and digital connecting with customers. And I thought it was really well thought out. And I don't agree, and I think most people would say this, I don't agree with everything Brian writes, but but I do a lot. And I like that he isn't afraid to uncover some stuff that a lot of people won't do because it negatively impacts, their business or
their ROI.
No,
I think that's kind of Brian's niche in reality, in my mind, is the fact that he can take some of these bigger ideas and he can boil it down to communicate it out to people that have a tough time understanding. And I think he does that very, very well. And I think that's something that, even if it's not an original idea, I think he does really, really well. He can take some of these big high level ideas and help a dealer understand. So I'm a big fan in that regard of Brian Pash. And he's not a sponsor. I wish he would.
Maybe he should be, Brian.
He should be. Brian, come on, buddy. I know you're listening.
Well, he will as soon as I hashtag him on this.
Yeah, absolutely. We're about to put this on LinkedIn. And while you're up there, check out our profiles. I don't really share anything. You've been sharing a lot on LinkedIn.
Well, a little bit because I have more time these days, but I tried to do, it was started out as quotes and doing it once a week, but then I like to write little things that go along with it too. And so, I've been, as you know, busy writing a whole bunch of stuff lately. Yeah. So it's kind of good to do that on LinkedIn too. So yeah,
absolutely.
I have not engaged on LinkedIn as much as I should have or could have, but when you're working a X hours a week job, it's pretty difficult to justify the time or even put aside the time to do it.
And that's exactly it. I have notifications set for Brian. I have notifications set for several other people. And that's really the only time I get on there is to read those articles, or when one of my colleagues sends me a really good article, because we do share some good information. That a lot of it does come from LinkedIn, and it's a good hub.
Yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
where you get a lot of.
There's just so
not
much
a
out
sponsor.
there. Yeah, no, need to be. There's so much out there that it's nice to have people who you trust to recommend certain, thought-provoking articles.
Would you say that it's not fake news?
I would say that there's some that's fake, but
probably. It depends on who you follow, right?
Yeah, I don't want to be totally out of practice on defining fake news.
Yeah. So speaking of work,
yes.
This is scary, and I actually shared with our buddy Matt, that is a colleague, not our buddy Matt, who we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. Your buddy Matt. I hope he's my buddy too, but more so your buddy. I was talking to my buddy Matt and also AJ today, both of whom were on the same team with work, that I made either a very stupid decision today or a very smart decision. And I think it's kind of honestly a mixture of both. We have an event coming up. And remember, everyone, I know we've mentioned this before on the podcast. I live in Nashville. For those of you who are new to the program, so I live in Nashville, the city proper, and we have an event coming up that is going to be in Breckenridge, Colorado. And throughout a lot of our episodes, we've talked about overlanding, we've talked about camping, we've talked about buying campers. No, I did not buy a camper. I was very close to buying a camper. I sent you the Cricket, right? I sent you a picture of what I was looking at.
You did.
So I was looking at the Cricket, if you guys ever get a chance, and I might still buy it. I'm not going to do it anytime soon, but I might budget for it because it is kind of right up our alley, and I'll explain why in just a little bit. But I made the decision because the event is happening the last week in July. July 30th is Jen's birthday.
Yes.
And also my dad, who lives in Sentinel Butte, North Dakota, which is roughly 30 to 40 miles from the Montana border. At least his property is about 30, 40 miles from the Montana border.
We found it before.
Yeah, we have found it before. Yep. We've discussed it. So one of his friends passed away a couple of months ago, and a good friend of mine as well. Very, very nice guy. His name is Lon. True cowboy, fantastic musician. Speaking of guitar playing, he and my dad played together. Wow. And performed together as well. So Lon is having a celebration of life that my cousin has planned for everybody. And it's I don't know if it's at my dad's or if it's at her or his wife's house. He and his wife's house, Lon and Kathy. So I will find that out eventually, but I'm going to my dad's. Nice. I haven't been out there now since about 4 or 5 years ago. So Peyton has only met my dad now twice. So this will be the third time. So the event is on that Saturday after our thing in Colorado. So I have made the decision to drive alone from Nashville in the Jeep to Breckenridge. I'm going to do the back roads for the most part. I might do the freeway out of Tennessee, but once I get into Arkansas and Missouri, I'm going to do the back roads. It's about a 20-hour drive if I do it that way, 24 if I go 100% back roads. It's a 16-hour drive on the freeway. And I'm going to camp along the way. So I'm going to leave on Saturday. The meeting starts on Monday.
Yeah.
And I'm going to solo camp out of the Jeep on my way to Breckenridge.
Nice.
I'm going to do the event, and then Jen and Peyton are going to fly to Denver, and I'm going to pick them up, and we're going to drive to my dad's. and we're going to maybe, I don't know if we'll camp on the way there because it's only a 6-hour drive, 7-hour drive on the back roads. So it's not that far. But we might camp one night there, and then we're going to go to my dad's, go to the party, spend an extra day with my dad. And then we're going to drive and camp over to Minnesota. I've taken a whole week off, by the way, afterwards. Yeah. Going to do that, go see my aunt, who's my mom's sister on that side of the family. Probably stay there a day, and then we're going to drive back. Actually, Peyton is going to go spend time with my wife's mom and Craig and Mona. So we might drive from Minneapolis to Kingsport, drop Peyton off, and then drive back to Nashville. Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
Camping along the way.
Dude.
So that was the stupid decision, but the dumber decision might have been the fact that I just spent $528.88 on camping gear for long distance travel, because I have a lot of camping gear, but I only have camping gear that's good enough for a weekend, not for overlanding. And it's not everything I needed. It's just stuff that I thought, okay, this is going to make the life a lot easier. So the only thing I splurged on that I don't think I necessarily need, but I think will be great, is I did buy a camping hammock. Now I have hammocks, but this one actually comes with a rain fly and
I've seen those
net. Yeah.
But
other than that, I bought a porta potty. I bought stuff to go in the porta potty. I bought camp towels.
Can't you create your own
shower.
stuff to go in the porta potty? I mean, that's really what they're for.
I can.
Oh, okay.
Remember, I'm also going to have two young ladies with me at some point.
I get it. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not necessarily buying for my comfort.
Yeah.
I'm also buying for I got some heavy duty tent stakes, because I don't have any heavy duty tent stakes. You know, my tent stakes will last for a day, but not for a couple of summer blankets, because all I have is winter camping gear. A table, because I didn't have a table, and a shower, like I said, a shower and a pop-up shower and toilet.
That's
tent.
cool. That's cool. So
and some other cooking stuff. It's like a wet
bathroom almost in a tent.
It's a Camco 2.6 gallon portable travel toilet designed for camping, RV, boating, and other recreational activities.
But it's a tent, and you can shower in there as well.
Oh, yeah. The tent is a pop-up privacy tent. Instant portable. I've got the thing right in front of me. Instant portable outdoor shower tent, camp toilet, changing room, rain shelter, with window for camping and beach easy setup.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what I have to know is, because we talked a little about this, did you get the top of Jeep tent?
No.
Okay. So it's going to be behind. All right.
No, it's not going to be either.
Okay.
So, excuse me. This is going to be regular tent camping. So I'm actually probably going to take both tents.
Got it.
The big one and the little one.
Okay.
So I decided against that because, and here's the rationale, which is, it's a good segue back to the Cricket.
Okay.
So, folks, the Cricket is a small camper that has 4 solid walls, and I'm saying that on purpose. 4 solid walls. It was designed by a NASA engineer. It also has a pop-up roof, but when the roof is down, it actually can fit in the garage. And it's small enough that the Jeep can pull, because the Jeep can't pull much. It can only pull 3,500 pounds. Yeah. And in fact, this is the Cricket. They make a bigger one called the Mantis. The Mantis is the one I wanted. But the Mantis, dry weight, the Jeep can pull. Dry meaning it doesn't have anything in it except for the camper itself.
Yeah.
But once you add your gear, you add your water, it's beyond the limits of the Jeep. So I decided against the Mantis, going to look just purely at the Cricket. The Cricket will sleep 4. It has a bed. It has 2 cots that hang from the ceiling that are mainly for kids. Anyone that's 130 pounds or more can't fit up there.
Okay.
It has a sink. It has a spot for the porta potty. And it has an outdoor shower and stuff like that. But everything is and the kitchen is inside. So everything is contained within the Cricket. So the reason I'm saying it like that is, if I were the one camping and we were doing nothing but just the way I want to camp, I would have a rooftop tent, or I'd have a rooftop tent on the back of a trailer.
Okay.
I've made those decisions. I'm good with that. If I had a porta potty, I'm good. Because going back to some of our other things, that's the big one for me is a porta potty.
Well, I'm totally with you on that. Here's the way I look at it. If you don't, but I mean, that's kind of the whole camping thing. That's really the point of it to me is I want to be able to I want to cook. I want to be able to sleep, and I want to be able to use the bathroom if I'm
right.
Someplace. Now, if you're at a campground and there are bathrooms there and stuff, well, that's a different story. But
sure, that's not the kind of camping I really want to do.
You got to get in there. No, I understand. Yeah. Especially if you're doing overland stuff, you need to have that equipment. So
yeah,
interesting.
I don't want to. I was talking to my dad, and when I say talking, texting with my dad today about the trip, and hopefully Frankie's not listening, but Frankie is my cousin, and she was thinking about coming out for the celebration of life.
Yeah,
and my dad told me he wasn't making a joke. I make the jokes. He
Wow.
told me that he didn't know if Frankie was coming because she's allergic to cats. Now, after the joke I made, he also said that last time she came, she actually had to go to the hospital because it got so bad.
Oh,
so I felt a little bad for the joke, but at the same time, it was a really funny joke.
I'm sure it was hilarious.
So he said that, and I wrote back, I said, well, you know what? I'm allergic to people, but I still go out in public.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a beauty.
But it's true. I'm allergic to people. He's definitely allergic to people. I would much rather be out in the middle of nowhere. If I can find a way to avoid campgrounds, I will. So sure. Anyway, yep. That said, if I go camping, I'm probably not going to do it much on my own. I will have at least my wife and Peyton with me, and most likely the dogs, as soon as Clyde stops smelling like skunk.
Is he still?
Still.
Come on, really?
I mean, he got a direct shot right in the face.
Well,
anyway.
I know, but could you show me what he did with his mouth one more time?
No, I can't.
Come on, do it.
I forgot. Clyde, do you want to come in and show him what you did with your mouth? He's not even paying attention to me.
Well, he's angry at me.
He's angry at me.
I'm sorry, Clyde.
So,
just kidding.
With that, I think the camping that we're going to probably end up doing a lot more of, especially if we travel around. Are you familiar with harvest hosts?
Yes. Oh, I love that idea. I've never done it, but yeah, it's farms, it's wineries, it's
distilleries, breweries.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
and you can go camp for a night, and it's free, except they do ask that you go in and, whether buy a bottle of wine or pay for a tasting or something, just to help the local business.
It's free, but you pay a membership. You pay a membership for the year or whatever.
It's
but yeah, you're right.
$90 a year.
Yes,
it's not expensive.
No, next to nothing.
My dad actually has a membership for his camper, which he never uses. But anyway, I think that would probably be more in line with the way we camp. Now, Harvest Host has some rules. Again, I would be happy with a rooftop tent. Harvest Hosts doesn't allow you to use rooftop tents. They require you to have a self-contained camper with four solid walls.
Okay.
Which is why I said the cricket has four solid walls.
Right.
Even though it has a pop-up, they allow that.
Yeah.
But it has to have four solid walls that can be self-contained, meaning your kitchen is inside,
Sure.
your toilet is inside, and you sleep inside.
Yeah.
And it operates off of batteries because you probably don't have a plug-in.
So they don't want tents and they don't want
Correct.
traditional pop-ups and so on.
Correct.
Yep. Understood.
Yep. So that's why the cricket works so well, because it's kind of a mixture between what I want and what we probably will end up doing. And that's why I think it fits so well. It's expensive. That's why I haven't picked it up.
They're not cheap.
There are full-size campers that are much cheaper.
Yes.
But again, it's not. The cricket is designed to. I'm not going to do major super overlanding where I need a super overlander trailer, but I'm going to do enough where we're going to be off, and that's kind of where that cricket fits in, because that's exactly how it's designed. They actually have an off-road version, but even this version is not hard to take off semi-off-road.
Sure. Well, and I've seen some of them, some of the off-road ones that you've seen too, I'm sure, and they're the ones, they're like the teardrop that have the kitchen that pops up and back, outdoor kitchen.
Yep.
And those are kind of cool too, but I think speaking for all of us, listeners and viewers and myself, we're all, I can't wait to hear how it goes, how everything is.
It's going to be fun.
Well, you say that. I am more interested in Jen's perspective.
I will be interested. I have
set
plenty of Marriott points aside just in case.
That's smart.
Yeah.
But I would also say it's such a long trip. Oh,
so
my
one
gosh.
of the reasons, so this is something I've always wanted to do. So let me just throw this out there.
No, that's
this
awesome.
opportunity came up, and it's something that it's going to either make or break my dream of doing this sort of thing.
Well, that's good. That's the way to find out.
Exactly. Or at least inform how I want to do it.
Right.
Because I'm talking purely out of just the vision of why I think certain things will work. I might find out while I'm doing it, no, rooftop tents aren't going to work. The Cricket's not going to work. Maybe I want a regular camper, or maybe I really don't care and I really just want to do the overlanding thing.
Maybe you just learn 2 words: bear spray.
So we'll talk about that a little bit. Anyway.
Okay.
Might not talk about that on the podcast, but I will. I have a question for you at some point.
Okay.
Anyway. So it'll probably inform that. However, the reason I decided to do it, and it's been an ongoing process. We've known about this now for a few weeks, and I have been debating one way or another. How do I want to do it?
Researching,
researching, and obviously my company pays for the plane ticket to Colorado, so this is actually going to cost me money.
Sure.
However, the key to all of this is the fact that no matter what, whether I fly out to Denver and do my thing and then come back to Nashville, I still have to get to my dad's. And this way, it's either get in a car and drive, and that's a long trip, and even making a weekend out of it. I mean, it would drive up there. I mean, it's easier to break it up by going to Denver and then up and then back and then down, because I'm breaking it up over 2 weeks, basically.
Yep.
The second part of that is I've done the math on the gas mileage, and I took the Jeep at its worst gas mileage, not with the battery. I'm just 100% worse gas mileage.
Yep.
And I did the math with current gas prices, which are fairly high.
Yep.
They might go higher, they might not. They're fairly high right now, but I did the math. And I also looked up plane tickets to my dad's and rental cars or flying to Denver, renting a car. I did all of the math. And it was cheaper for me to drive the Jeep out to Colorado, up to my dad's, and then back, and have Jen and Peyton fly out than it was for me to fly to my dad's or rent a car. It's almost $1,000 a piece. Actually, it was $1,200 a piece for 3 people to fly. So it was $3,600 just to fly.
Yep.
It's going to cost me roughly $800 to drive.
Yeah, it's so the one, just one little extra.
Yeah.
Not to make an argument one way or the other. By adding, how many miles are you going to put on the vehicle? What do you figure is the total for the
I
trip?
will probably put 2,000 miles on the vehicle.
So
2,500 maybe.
It's not a big dent, but it's a dent in that you have to define any time you drive the vehicle, you're lowering the value of the vehicle too.
Yeah.
So that's a little thing.
That is a little thing.
It certainly would not amount to the difference in what you just identified.
So two things there. Yeah. However, you make a valid argument. There's no denying that that's 100% true.
Come on.
I know it's 100% true. However, it is it is a Jeep.
Well, that's true. Good point.
Jeeps that have 100,000 miles, 200,000 miles are still selling for tens of thousands of dollars.
It's incredible.
It is
really
incredible.
Is.
Two, I leased the bad boy. So as long as I'm under my mileage when I turn it in, it doesn't matter.
Or you don't turn it in, you buy it out.
Exactly.
You have choices.
You have choices. You have choices. So that's my adventure, and
that's exciting.
I'm nervous. I'm very scared because first of all, the first leg I'm doing by myself.
Well,
so that's a little bit scary. I'm a little bit scared. Sure, it is an adventure. I think I will truly enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit scared. I am one.
I wouldn't say scared.
Well.
I'd say apprehensive.
Apprehensive. That's a good.
Yeah, yes. You would be apprehensive, not scared.
Yes, that is a very good clarification.
Yeah.
if I were to do, if I were going out there, if I were going to be doing this normally without having an event to go to, I'd have at least one of the dogs with me. So
That's true.
I honestly, for as much as I joke about being allergic to people, I'm just as allergic to being alone.
Understood.
I like being around something, whether it's a dog or.
But is it so you can't take the dogs because of the event?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, unless you find somebody to.
We talked about that too, and they're really there was one option, but I don't know if it's a sound option, and that was bringing Whitney with us, and then I would take Peyton, but then I've got a full car.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Then
That's going to just make it tougher too.
Yeah, and Jen can't take the time off because she's ironically she's going out to Colorado the week before that.
Oh, you're kidding!
To an event, and then flying back if she comes back because it's her first time to Colorado.
Okay.
And I mean that. She might not come back. She might say, "I'm selling the business. We're moving out here." I would have no problem with that. As much as I love Nashville, I would move to Colorado in a heartbeat. Colorado, beautiful. Utah, Wyoming, Montana. Yep.
Beautiful areas there, for
sure. It really is. Always been kind of I call it a mini dream because that's just me. But anyway, so that's awesome. My story. That's what I have coming up. And you don't have necessarily, I mean, I'm sure you have something coming up, but you haven't had something coming up. You just got to experience a fun week. Tell us about that.
It was, fun might be overstating it just a little bit. It was interesting. As I told you, our friends Matt and Carrie were coming to visit, and it was great. We we're always going to have fun with them, and so we knew that, and picked them up at the airport late on Thursday night, and they are able to fly into Punta Gorda, which is 20 minutes from our house. So it's
nice.
Piece of cake in a small airport, so easy for them too, mostly. And we got here to the house, and it was fine. Everything was great. Everybody got to sleep. We sat out and shot the breeze for a while and talked smart and got to bed. And then Friday, I just got to make sure I'm doing the math the correct way. We Friday woke up and the air conditioning was out in the rental house that we're in.
Oh,
yeah.
Again?
So no
Didn't that
air.
just happen recently?
It did, and they came and they said, "Oh, well, we got this. Okay, great," and not handled. And so there were parts that needed to be replaced, or the whole unit needed to be replaced. Yeah. And they said the parts are going to take 10 days to get. What? And if we're going to replace the whole thing, that's going to take 2 or 3 days beyond Monday because they couldn't do anything until Monday. So here we are, friends coming from out of town to visit, and we decided to go for hotels.
Yeah.
And went to one that was, close by to us and had never stayed there before, but the rates were pretty decent. So I thought, well, this would be, it's like a rebranded, not awesome hotel.
Oh, no.
And so it wasn't great. There were a lot of things wrong, and it just wasn't awesome. Great location, beautiful views, a nice outdoor bar and tiki bar area, swimming pool and all that stuff. But
that's all you really need.
Well,
who cares if it's a nice hotel if you got a bar, a good bar?
But it attracted the people you would assume would, and not that that's bad, but when it's people-y like that, wow, the people watching was great. Yeah. But ordered a pizza, and pizza came, and it was great. And I'm putting it out in the hallway, and I reached back to keep the door open, the heavy door, and the door slams.
Oh, no, don't stop.
My finger. No. Cut one side. And
I don't do hands well.
The other side.
I don't do hands well.
Wow, I never noticed that. Yeah, you seem to take that really well. Yeah, I know.
I can look at gaping wounds on any part of the body, but when it comes to the hand, I don't know. I don't even think my career revolves around my hand. I could probably lose one and still do my job.
Be okay. Don't make me look at the nail. I know.
No, God. Ooh.
So the door was really heavy. It had no braking mechanism at the top, and so it just slammed on my. Oh,
Ouch. I bet you woke up the entire floor, didn't you?
If not for the swear words, I probably would have.
You don't swear.
Oh, I did then. And so,
sorry, Mom.
Yeah, Mom, if you're listening, I won't repeat what I said, but it was a blue streak. And so, yeah, holy cow, that was painful. Anyway.
There were people in the hotel that was like, wow, that must be a sailor.
It must be.
Former Navy.
Yes, former, you got current.
Yeah.
But fortunately, there was an ice bucket nearby. And
you don't hear that very often anymore.
And went right in. Yeah. So anyway, that wasn't good. 2 nights there, and then Matt and Carrie flew out on Sunday, and so Sunday we still needed. So we grabbed. I used some Marriott points, as you mentioned, and there was a 4 points that was way nicer. And also,
sorry, Matt. Sorry, Carrie.
I know. I felt guilty for a second, but
for a second,
yeah. I said, well, at least we learned from what you. Yeah, and their flying home was delayed by 3 hours.
Oh, no.
We're at the 4 points going, oh gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that I'm drinking martinis.
As I drink my Miller Lite.
Yes,
not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor either. Anyway, so yeah. Then we did get the. We decided Monday night to tough it out, spend the night here, with the promise that Tuesday they were replacing the air unit, and they did. They came in Tuesday, boom, fixed it, and now it's nice and cool. But you don't think about it as much. It was 93 degrees, I think, last week, and sort of humid, but not 100% humidity. It's 80% humidity, and just like you like it. And but without air conditioning, oh my gosh, it was.
Well, and speaking of, that makes more sense why you were texting me while I was actually in, where was I? Not Corpus Christi.
Oh no, you were in Gulfport.
I was in Gulfport. Yeah. And you were texting me and you were saying, you're in a nice cool place. It's only 95 degrees. It's 100 degrees in Nashville. And I'm like, yeah, it's much cooler here. And I was showing pictures of the terminal that I was in that was completely empty.
Yeah.
And I was miserable because it was so freaking hot. And then now it makes perfect sense why you were commenting on that.
Yeah. It was a long weekend, I will put it that way. And,
I bet.
Of course, the very nice damage to my hand, but you know what? And I've done this before. I think everybody has at some point or another. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic. And I don't lose my nails, or I haven't yet.
Okay.
But Lisa, this one, you're going to lose this now. I don't know. I had another one that was like this, and I didn't lose it, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I've done that a number of times. I've done that on my toes, too. I've never lost my nail.
Have you ever punctured it to get the blood out?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. That part I can't do. I'm just forget it. I'm okay.
I didn't think I could, but I did. And did it feel so much better.
Well, and that's what Lisa said, too. And Carrie she's a hairdresser, cosmetologist, and she's, and she like gets this smile that I'd really like to do it if you'd let me, It's
gross. I've never done it on my hand. I did it on my feet. And feet, I still have a problem with my feet.
Me too.
But I can do it.
Ouch.
I can do it. And I did it. And I had gone fishing with Craig. And I was an idiot. This is back when I could still be an idiot before I had a child.
Yes.
We went fishing and he decided, hey, let's go wading into the river. And I only had flip-flops.
Okay.
So I went wading into the river with flip-flops and I banged my toes, my foot on a rock. And And I did that. And I was like, it was so painful. But then as soon as I popped that, literally a pop.
Yep.
Crack, pop, not to be gross, sorry.
Yeah.
Trigger warning.
Yeah.
And it was like, and it was just like, no more
pressure. Pressure goes away. Well,
yep.
This will be the last thing we talk about, the hands and feet thing. Another rental property many years ago, walked out on the deck that was not bare feet, and for some reason stepped just right. I got like 8 slivers in the bottom of my
Ooh.
feet.
Ooh.
And Lisa had to pluck them all out.
Oh, I bet she enjoyed every second of that,
the
too.
whole pain
It's like,
thing.
I am so pissed at you. Pink.
Oh, I know.
Now you know how it feels. Pink, pink.
Yeah, that's how it went. It wasn't bink, it was bink. They were big. And
Yeah, I want you to remember this when we're a lot older. The next time I get mad at you, I want you to remember this. Pink.
Yes.
This is your just reward for pissing me off.
Here you
10
go.
years from now. Pink.
Here you go. Apparently, she knew that I was going to. Just a matter of time.
Wives, they just know.
They absolutely
wives
do.
and mothers. They just have the sixth sense about husbands and children, which
They
are
do.
about the same.
I was going to say husbands/children. Honestly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
that makes
it's
more
about the
sense.
same.
Absolutely.
Does.
Yeah. That.
So yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, painful stuff. That. Oh,
Yeah,
just to wrap up the air
Yeah.
conditioning thing. I'm sorry. The Matt and Carrie visit. I think I said this in our last episode that we found this awesome meat market. Right? We talked about that. The German meat market. Yeah. The meat market.
Wait, no,
No,
that's more
Finland or Norwegian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which is also not very.
Well, did
good
you know,
for meat.
speaking of
Yes.
rabbit hole, that I didn't know this, and my family is from there,
Yes.
that the Dutch they're actually, and maybe I'm wrong, but I heard somewhere, I read somewhere that the Dutch are actually considered more Nordic when it comes to their language and their culture than they are Germanic, which
I would say
is weird because Germany is actually a little bit closer, I guess,
well,
to
they're
the Nordic.
across the North Sea, right?
Right,
yeah. So it's having traveled there,
Mm-hmm.
it's proximity wise. Everything is so close, so I don't think it really matters.
Right, true.
But we were in Copenhagen, and it's that whole area is kind of almost Nordic. I mean, that's how you get the sense that it's more so than. And then you've got Germans and Austria and the Bavarian area that they're all kind of, and Swiss. The Swiss are also part of that.
Speaking of,
yes.
It's kind of funny because I've got to renew our passports.
Yes.
So they're sitting on my desk. Got to remember to do that.
And because you're going to go to Switzerland.
Yeah, exactly. After Denver, we're going to drive there in the Jeep.
Hey, and I've told you that story. I think a friend. Oh my gosh, this lady who was a teacher for us in middle school was a guide during the summers when she had the summers off, and she was a guide in Switzerland because she had been so many times and worked for a travel agency to support herself over the summer, which was great. And so her son was a friend of mine, and a lady stopped him on the street and said, "Hi, Jim. So how's everything going? How's your mom?" "Oh, she's fine. She's over in Switzerland." "Oh, did she drive?"
Nice. I do remember that story, but it's going to be funny every time you tell it.
Well, I will tell it again next episode, just to see if you'll laugh.
Yeah. Oh, I will. I probably will.
Did you drive?
Yeah. So I took German in school. This is similar, but not anywhere near the same.
Yeah.
Mainly because I had grown up around the Dutch language, which it is very close. So with saying that, the Dutch language maybe is a good comparison between, it's kind of half German, half Nordic.
Okay.
Excuse me. So but it's very Germanic, just like the English language is actually Germanic. So it was honestly, I took it because it was an easy A for me, and it was. Mm-hmm. But my instructor, fantastic teacher, I loved him to death. His name was Mr. Peterson.
Okay.
Or Herr Peterson.
Uh-huh.
We shortened it. All the students did too. Hairpay, which is pay is German for P. Hairpay. Hairpay. Hairpay.
Wow.
Which, there have been some student trips that went over there, and that's what the students used to call him all the time. Well, Hairpay. I know John's nodding. He knows exactly what I'm saying. But if you really listen to what it sounds like, that's what the word sounds like in German too.
Wow.
That's what the disease sounds like. So they're running around going, Hairpay, Hairpay, Hairpay.
Wow.
To Mr. Peterson. on the bus and on the train and stuff all over Germany.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. That was my story.
I bet he enjoyed that.
Oh, he enjoyed that so much.
So we went to the German meat market.
Yes, German meat market.
Got wonderful tenderloin, and Lisa's all excited because Matt and Carrie are coming, and they love her tenderloin.
Yeah.
And it sat in the freezer.
Well, at least it's in the freezer. At least the freezer didn't go out.
Well, she did that on purpose on Friday, and the freezer has gone out in the past. So,
in the past, but not now.
Not this time.
Yeah, good.
So it worked out great. Anyway, but they didn't get to have the steak, and
that sucks.
As I'm eating it all, I will be, delightful.
Thinking about them, I'm sure.
I sure miss you guys. Yeah. This is really good. Yeah. So
I understand.
So closing that door.
Oh, it's so rough. And you know what? I think we could talk for hours about, this has been a very interesting, very long week. Unfortunately, some of it we can't talk about, but there's been a lot of activity this week, which is, it's good because we haven't had, I hate to say it, we haven't had much to talk about, but this week we really did. So I hope that all of you had the opportunity to enjoy our conversation this week, and hopefully next week you'll come back to enjoy some more of the conversation. I know friends. John's a little bit dark and a little bit blurry over there.
I'm dark and actually you're blurry and I'm not. So as we get near the end.
Yeah, maybe he won't be as blurry, but he probably will be as dark because
I will be as dark. I'm going to have
actually. Did I mention I also got a Coleman LED lantern, Quad Pro 800 lumen LED lantern. It has 4 sides, and all 4 sides come off, and they're magnetized, so I could actually stick them on the side of the Jeep to light up the whole area, or they have stands so you can sit them on tables and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
You're a weirdo. You're a camping weirdo.
Dude. I hope I have enough room in the Jeep for all this shit.
We want to see lots of pictures because it's going to be awesome.
I'm actually thinking about, which you guys can't see. You can see it when the video is full, but I actually have my DSLR sitting back there.
Nice.
I'm actually going to charge up the batteries. I'm going to take it with. I'm going to actually take some time and do something I haven't done in many, many years, something I used to be passionate about, but haven't really had that passion lately. So
that'll be fun.
It will be fun. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited for you.
You know what? And you know what? It's a good opportunity to reinvigorate Eat, Drink, Road.
Sure, it is. You'll be taking lots of pictures, and it's going to be that part of the country. I feel like a lot of people
it's underrated.
Have not been there.
Yes.
Have not spent the time. And I've been we lived in Denver for a while and have traveled, you and I both traveled extensively around that part of the country.
I think it's not just Denver. Everyone knows Denver. Everyone knows Nashville. And I actually did a search because I'm curious to how many people have done this trip and if they have any suggestions and things like that. I actually did a search on YouTube, Instagram, and just a Google search. Road trip from Nashville to Denver.
Yeah.
Very little information out there.
Really?
I did not find very much. And what I did find was crap.
Huh.
So I think there's an opportunity there. I think I could be the first. I could monetize it. It could support the podcast for at least another 2 or 3 months because we're expensive, guys. We are expensive.
Really expensive.
Really expensive. And speaking of expensive, if you want to help with the podcast,
yes,
head up to PoddiMouths.com, buy us a coffee. You can support us in so many different ways. But there's also, if you really want to start your own podcast, check out riverside.fm and there's a link in all of our bio stuff that will lead you up there, and we'll get a little kickback if you decide to join. So check it out. And you know what? Here's another thing too. Honestly, John and I have been doing this long enough that if you have questions and you are considering doing your own podcast and you want some more information, we're happy to talk about it. So reach out to, I know the email address is PoddiMouths@gmail.com.
Yep.
Reach out to us or reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. We'll be happy to share with you every little tip and trick we've had, everything we know we've done wrong. And I say that like that purposely. We know we've done it wrong.
Yeah, we're going to have more to
share
add.
that with you.
We'll have more to add to that part.
A lot more to add to that part. A lot more. I've got I could write a book on what not to do. Anyway, so please, let us know. Head up to PoddiMouths.com, www.poddimouths.com and check it all out. We're here for you. We're here for that, and we enjoy what we do, and we hope that you enjoy it as well. So, John, any final words while I see if our live video or our live music will work on our way out?
That'll be great. I love the live in. Ooh. Oh, play it under. Oh, it's like ended. No, there it is.
It's still going.
I thought it was gone. Ooh, I like it under our talking, too. That sounds wonderful.
I tried. Okay, but now it's ended, so I'm going to have to play it again. But it worked this time. It worked this time.
I will have lighting next week. I just ordered a new light. I broke the one I had because apparently I damaged things. But
you do damage a lot of things.
Next week, you will see new light. And then you'll probably say, we like John better dark.
Yeah, probably.
Because
okay, here's the music. It's going to slowly
bring it.
All right,
slowly.
folks. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.